Coming up next.
Somebody in the middle of their career when it wasn't going very well pivoted and they just laid their ass on the line and they went for it. And you know what? They're not making nearly as much as they would have if they'd stayed with the golden handcuffs, but they're happier.
The Job Talk podcast shares stories from people who are passionate and love what they do in their careers. Through conversation, we explore their careers, past work experiences, and the education that got them to where they are now. We are putting together a Career Crisis Ultimate interview series. We are asking experts to give their best advice and guidance around work anxiety, career pressures, career goal setting, and ultimately, career transformation. To learn more about this special interview series and get notified when it's available, please visit our webpage at thejobtalk.com/help. This is the shortened version from our in-depth conversation. Please visit thejobtalk.com to find the full episode.
Today's guest is Rik Leaf. Here's our Job Talk with a performer and producer. You guys decided to, I'm guessing, sell everything and tour the world and did you mention that you went on a tour of the world for 1 year or 2 years?
It was just over a year.
Okay. And you have kids?
Yep, 2 kids.
And how old were they when you decided to do this trip?
Our son was 13 and our daughter was 9.
13 and 9. And you took them out of school. And
Yep.
Could we talk about that?
Yeah.
How you came up with the idea and then you actually did it.
So this is the thing. I think everybody listening, we all have a dream. Maybe you want to jump out of a plane, or maybe you want to start a side hustle, or maybe you want to travel to Spain, or I don't know. Like, we all have a dream. And I think a lot of people will fall into this trap of being like, well, this isn't the right time. I'm too busy, or the kids are in school. I got to wait till the kids are out of school, or I'm at this point in my career, or I'm at this. And we keep saying, well, someday, right? We all do that. And my dad had never been really sick a day in his life and suddenly got diagnosed with one of these weird cancers. And just within maybe 6 months kind of a thing from diagnosis, he was gone. And because of that car accident and a number of, I've had so many health problems and I've been laid up. And so I remember, I'm going to be honest and say that Zara and I might have been those people that said, someday we should do this thing with our kids. And maybe never did it. But because I watched how fast my dad was gone, I think if I wait too long and say, what if someday, what if I wait one day too long and all of a sudden that happens to me? And so it was like, I don't want to do that. So I think, that experience with my dad, while it was still sort of fresh the year after, we're just like, are we going to do this? Then let's do it. For a family, I probably knew it would be really, it'd be really amazing. I didn't realize how much it would define who we have been ever since there.
The spirit of this podcast that I'm producing is to help people that are in a midlife career change situation. And I think it would be hard for you to wrap your mind around a person that's sitting in a career that they're not enjoying, that all of their passions have left them, but they have what is called the golden handcuffs, where they're thinking about their pension. And one of the most awful things I could think about is somebody hanging on to something that they're miserable doing for 30 years because they get a pension at the end of it that will ultimately maybe pay for their utilities going into retirement. What advice could you give that person that's sitting in their cubicle, hating life? What kind of advice do you have for them to maybe help them find their passions?
They know what they are. We all know what we're passionate about. When is enough? It's never going to be. I think that was the deal with our traveling. When is it right to pull the plug on your career for a year and take off and spend a year as a family? When is that ever going to be the perfect time? It's never going to happen. So I think for me, continuing to meet unhappy people reminds me of I don't have a pension. I'm probably never going to be able to retire. I'm not set up the way they're set up, but I've lived every week of my life, not like a retired person, but doing something that I love my whole life. So I find it absolutely impossible that I'm going to get to the end of my life and go, oh, I wish I had more, what? More trucks? A bigger house? I don't know. You know, when I wrote that book, Four Homeless Millionaires, how one family found riches by leaving it all behind, really the only reason I wanted to write that book, it was in case there was families like us that were sitting out there going, should we do that? That seems really irresponsible. Maybe our kids won't, want to hang out with us and won't want to have the adventure of a lifetime because they might miss out on, middle school, a year in middle school or something. And it's like, I just wanted to say, hey, I can't tell you what to do. You can't tell anyone what to do. But maybe if they can see there is somebody else out there that did this thing. Somebody in the middle of their career when it wasn't going very well pivoted and they figured out how to broker their experiences and their expertise into some new thing. And they just laid their ass on the line and they went for it. And you know what? They're not making nearly as much as they would have if they'd stayed with the golden handcuffs, but they're happier. I love Monday as much as Friday. And that to me is worth more than whatever those golden handcuffs would be worth.
Thank you for tuning in to the Job Talk podcast. For more information, please visit us at thejobtalk.com. Our podcast music was created by our friend Mike Malone in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.